Probably just, stay humble and be grateful for, everything that comes your way, because you never know when the tables could turn.
Buckle up. There's a major development involving Diddy and his son, King Combs, that's sending shockwaves through the celebrity world. New reports suggest Diddy is facing serious allegations, and now King is speaking out with claims that could change everything. This father-son story is unfolding fast, with surprising revelations and emotional fallout. From behind-the-scenes tension to public reactions, this is a headline-making moment you won't want to miss.
Everybody knew that Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I Get Around talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with? That's that image. Cause you gotta realize, bruh, Puff and Pac was cool at one time. We know this. Mopreem said that they was gonna sign the Bad Boy. So if he's gonna sign to Bad Boy, it was because of Corey and them. I put that picture on the internet. I put the picture on my channel of Corey Jones. Is Corey Jones, Corey Jacobs? I think Corey Jacobs and Pac right next to each other. Those was the real bad boys of Bad Boy. You understand? Those are the ones who got the 16 to life sentence. That Pac was gonna go and be with them first. But then Mopreem said when it became just Big and Puff, because Corey knew went to jail, he changed his direction. But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used. That shit is crazy. So when I say I'm obsessed with talking about Puff and telling y'all the truth, who's obsessed with who? Pac had Sarah before Puff. Allegedly he had Sally before Puff. And Kim had an obsession or liked Pac so much, she on the red carpet with Tupac shirt on. Who's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball player. Puff bet all the niggas didn't believe that he could get it within 2 weeks. $100. So she actually was a $100 bet that he got.
And who was the NBA player?
I think it was Gary Payton, allegedly. That's what he said. Somebody said, she messed with Gary Payton? I bet you I get it. I bet you I have it within 2 weeks. Me and him and Sarah went to this party in Chicago that he was hosting with the Streets Entertainment. And we went to the store called Cranberry and I forgot Cranberry, and it's one of those stores like you get fragrance and you get candles, colognes and stuff like that. It's called Cranberry and something. And from that point on, you got her. But you gotta realize, Misa and Kim was friends. Misa and Kim was friends. He started dealing with Kim over Misa. Kim and Sarah was friends. I mean, hand to hand, pots and pans. They was close. They all used to, Sarah, Kim, and this other girl, I think she was from Atlanta. What's her name? It missed me right now. But they all used to hang together. So then, he went from Kim to Sarah. And he liked to do the friend thing. Looked like that.
Imagine the scene on the day of the raid. King Combs was reportedly at his father's home, going about his day when a full federal SWAT team arrived in dramatic fashion. With sirens blaring, helicopters overhead, and tactical units entering the property. It felt like a scene from a high-stakes action movie. Sources say King was caught completely off guard, unsure of what was happening or whether he might be implicated. As the media swarmed the property and helicopters circled above, paparazzi scrambled to capture the chaos. Social media quickly lit up with speculation as people tried to piece together what could have led to such an intense federal operation involving Diddy.
And they would go in the room with another couple, right? And I've seen some things happen in the jacuzzi. Like when I'm the only one could go to the room 9 times out of 10. When Puff was the one who, was in the presidential suite, I'm the only one allowed. I gotta watch the door. No one can get into that door. I'm the only one that had the pass key or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you would hear a boom, 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 a thump or whatever the situation is and stuff like that. Yo, what's up? Everything good? And sometimes they would open the door. I'm right there by the door. Sometimes you see things you don't want to see. Bruh, I knew about the butt plug fetishes because I saw that with my own eyes. I knew about him and Kim being swingers with other people, whether it was another male or another woman or a male and a woman together. I saw that with my own eyes. You gotta realize is that after 2005, I didn't see anything that Puff was doing or what he didn't do. Puff had got addicted to opioid. And being addicted to those things bring other drugs on. I seen Puff smoke a cigarette. I never saw him smoke a cigarette. He was on the beach smoking a cigarette on YouTube. Then I seen him, smoking weed and drinking. I was like, that ain't the Puff I know. Drinking like he was and doing all like that. And that ain't the Puff that I knew. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta realize he had a certain respect around me because I was his OG from the same gang. You understand? And he knew I was law enforcement. He knew I didn't play certain things. So he ain't gonna do what he do around other people in front of me because he knew I'm gonna check him on that.
Who can know it all better than your ex-bodyguard, right?
We were in Cancun and we were on our way to the Island of Women. You understand? And this all it was, bruh. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull it down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay porn or something like that. And she was gonna put it out. There was story that he was trying to get Chris Brown. There's stories about, you know, those young boys that he had, a group B5 or something like that, trying to get them. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry about not just him, other people. Jimmy Iovine. Ain't nobody talking about Jimmy Iovine. He got sexual charges and everything on him, but he got those publicists that's keeping it out off of CNN, is keeping it off the major news reports. Nobody's talking about that.
All this stuff about him having fetishes is true.
Oh, no doubt. Especially if he getting butt plugs in different flavors.
But speaking of butt plugs, right, I remember some years ago, Cameron, he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with mates.
Yeah.
And he found the dildo in the sink.
I think that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then May said that was Puffs. I think he said May said that was Puffs, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was.
Caught in the chaos, King Calm's world turned upside down, going from luxury and normalcy to being detained as federal agents swarmed his father's home. With no clear understanding of what would happen next, he was likely overwhelmed with fear and uncertainty. In that moment, he faced a difficult reality. Should he stand by his father or protect himself? With the eyes of the world watching, the raid marked a deeply unsettling and pivotal moment in his life.
Simultaneous raids on homes in Florida and California linked to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. At the same time the raids were taking place, Combs was spotted pacing at an airport. But where was he going? Here's Jim Murray.
I'm outside the hip-hop mogul's estate in the exclusive Holmby Hills section of Los Angeles. This is where federal agents conducted the surprise raid, which is reportedly tied to an ongoing investigation involving allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking.
Here is where you wanna be.
Combs' ex, the singer Cassie, sued him last November for sexual assault. The civil suit was settled in just one day. He denies all allegations of wrongdoing. When you saw the size of these multiple raids, what did that tell you about the potential for charges being filed soon and an arrest impending?
Based on the size of the raid, I expect charges in a matter of days. This may be the beginning of the end for Diddy.
Today, we spotted private security at the estate with handguns.
All right, they just made their way in.
As the LA raid unfolded, two of Combs' sons were handcuffed and detained, routine in a raid like this. They were released without charges. As the feds swooped down on the LA mansion, a simultaneous raid took place at his waterfront estate on Star Island in Miami. Agents were seen loading a van with...
Being pulled into his father's high-profile legal troubles is enough to shake anyone, especially someone in the spotlight like King Combs. Now he's likely facing tough questions about loyalty, identity, and self-preservation. The real question is, will he stand by Diddy or step back to protect his own name and future? One thing's certain, the fallout from this raid is far from over, and what happens next could be even more revealing.
This the P. Diddy and Meek Mill and all these guys. So what is that all about?
Because deep, bro.
Diddy might be out of here, huh? I think Diddy's out of here.
Meaning like jail?
Jail would be crazy, but I think like career-wise.
Canceled, officially, done?
Yeah, I think it's over.
I think there's a difference between being canceled and...
being a criminal?
Yeah, it's a big difference, right? Because I don't know if R. Kelly got canceled.
Yeah. They keep canceling me for raping.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. And I'm tired of
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm tired of people
I
going...
don't think it's canceling.
People keep going like, there's smoke and there's fire. No, the house is burnt down, bro. Diddy is that guy.
Yeah.
Like everybody from Cassidy to the stories to the guy that just did he went to court and he's suing him and Lil Rod. And it's like, bro, there's a lot of information out there that's not good from his security guy that was Michael Jackson's security, that was the first guy in the scene when Mike died, to allegedly they're saying Diddy shot some dude and left, and they just basically cleaned it up for him. It's like, bro, there's a lot of nefarious. How much gay stuff is gonna come out with Diddy and Meek Mills? And bro, it's so crazy too. You guys know this. The moment somebody's like, man, he's done some gay stuff, from that moment on, every time you see a video and they just turn, you're like, oh, he's gay. He's gay, dude.
What are the actual facts of the story? Like, you've done some content on this. What do you actually know?
I don't know that much. I just know that there's like a lot of accusations. There's some I guess Me Too-esque stuff. Obviously, there's stuff with Cassie, maybe other people coming out, and but that being said, I think he just won a lawsuit with his like liquor company. So that he was at a, I don't know if that's even public, but rumors on the street he just won
he settles racism lawsuit against.
Yeah, it might be even for like a couple billion or something like that.
Oh shit!
So he basically just got to stay out of jail. And then he can go off into the sunset.
Well, he settled with Cassie in like a minute, and that was his girl for like a decade or so.
I don't know if he settled with her in a minute. Like, in order for that information to hit the blogs, they're probably going back and forth for a while, and then he's not paying.
And she's like, I'm talking.
Well, I'm gonna talk, and then they're like, no, you're not.
Okay.
And then she did, and now
30 million.
Yeah.
Just to be like, shh.
Within 24 hours.
Wow.
After she went public.
Wow.
Not even 24 hours. And then she came back and she said, we were able to settle things out, or I don't know what the words was she used, but you know, I'm all these other things that's going on with the guys and Meek. Who called them out, by the way? Forget about Tate, but which rapper was it that went after? Is it 50 that he has a problem? Who is the person that always goes after?
Well, 50 is always going after. 50 is the man. But 50 is, and if you're on 50's bad side, bro, God bless you, man. May God protect you, because he is not letting that foot off your neck ever.
Yeah, with Floyd, Ja Rule, Floyd Mayweather, he does not play games, bro.
Also, one of the most charismatic dudes I've ever met.
No shit. So 50's developing a documentary on Diddy allegations. Vows to donate proceeds.
Wow.
Sexual assault. Can you hold it? When is this?
Dude, this guy's a troll.
This guy, no, he is unstoppable, man.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy. I remember when he was doing the stuff with Mayweather. It's like, here, put the alphabet. I want him to read a book.
One page from a Harry Potter book. Yeah. He was like, I'll donate 500,000.
And these are both New Yorkers. They were best friends, though. They were best friends, too. Like,
what was
really
the falling out?
Like, that's his business, man. I'll let him explain that to you. But like, they were really close. So that's, I think,
is it a public story or no?
I don't know exactly. I don't know. I know he talked to me about something, but I let him share his business.
Yeah. To me, there's a part about 50 that gives me a man's man vibe,
bro. He is.
You know, that's the vibe I get from him, and even the way he edifies Eminem. You just gotta love the way he edifies Eminem. You know,
just a lot of respect. A loyal dude who really understands people from a young age. From a very young age, understood social dynamics. Like, he told me, he was like, yeah, when I was like 12 or 13, I was raised by like old heads, and I was just observing them. You don't get to talk a lot when you're with the old dudes. So you're just kind of watching the power dynamics, watch how things work. Man, he told me some crazy story. I don't know if I can share, but I don't think he would be upset. He told me some story about, like, you know, when he first got out of prison or something like that. Like, he had like a crew of guys, and you know, he went from being the dude, you know, on the block to potentially being lower now, because other dudes rise when you get locked up. But he still had his crew, so he was getting paid whatever he was getting paid to be part of the organization. And he said in the beginning, he started taking all the money that he was making, all the money that he was getting paid, not in the beginning, after he got out, and he would pay it to his guys, so his guys wouldn't think that he wasn't still the man. So he's making zero, right? But his guys, he still needed them to realize, yo, he still got it like that. And he just understood at a very like basic primal human level what he needed to maintain the loyalty, the hierarchy, and the power position. I'm like, you're like 17 at this fucking time? How the fuck do you understand that? So it's no surprise to me when I see him thriving in these different industries, but also like not at all sacrificing who he is. Like, he's still a wild dude on the internet and in Hollywood producing films. Like, he can really kind of say whatever he wants. It's quite impressive. I told him the first time I saw him, I was like, bro, what do you have on all these dudes in Hollywood?
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Dude, he's that guy.
But listen, to me, it stops with Diddy at the Tupac story. That's what stops for me, because you know, you go down the rabbit hole and you're just curious about a topic and a story. You keep going down, and then you bring detectives and you're talking to guys that were involved, and eventually like, yeah, no. And I was a kid, 2 days, 3 days, I would say, in high school was like days that I was startled, confused, in pain, hurt. Magic getting AIDS when he came out and did the HIV positive interview.
Yeah.
You know, it was Michael retiring and he's stepping away from the game, and it was Tupac getting killed.
Yeah.
Those 3 days were the days where it's like, you know, as a kid, you follow those stories. And I think, I don't know, a lot of people have Diddy's influence behind Tupac and Biggie, but I'm convinced guys like 50 probably have. I'm convinced the people that have the actual facts and influence on who was behind it.
King Combs has officially broken his silence on the federal raid at Diddy's residence, and he's standing firm. In a recent Snapchat post, King called out the accusers, claiming they're not telling the truth, and made it clear he supports his father. His public defense could influence how people view the case, either casting doubt on the allegations or raising questions about where his loyalty lies.
So, as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So, every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, come get the front shot.
Man.
Hey, man, now, minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15, you could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
Alright, 16.
You're not ready. Slow down. Let's slow down, Josh.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.